one believes you'll see him trying to do that.
Here is Miller, the first delivery to Bennett, and Bennett is back and a bit squared up. The leg side of the field. Here is Miller again in, and Bennett is in defense. And this ball again goes out to the, just to the right of that man at the slip mid-on region. His back not looking too comfortable to Miller, who is up and forward. And this one more solidly in defense is Bennett in confidence, just as he got the wicket of the, that opener Palmer. Here is Bennett, who pushes his ball into the cover region. He took off for the single. The single was not on, but Bolt, brother of Usain Bolt, misfielded and gave Bennett that single. It all ended up well for the Army men.
It says Blue Water, Short Time Medical, Ready TV, Power Aid, Pure National Ice, Hotel Four Seasons, KLS Sports FM, Jamaica Scorpions, Juice TV, bringing you, also coming to you from Love TV.
So Lamont is with the attack from the Blue Mountain end. The wicket, the right-handed soldier. And here is Lamont, and this delivery is Bennett is back to a delivery that he really should have been forward to, and squeezed it out onto the pitch. Survived by playing that one with the bat. Here's Lamont into Bennett, and he's back and cutting this one, but he's going to point, and there's no run scored. Melbourne would want this type of activity being happening here, as I wouldn't want to see how long Bennett will stay. This delivery is almost as if he was yorked by the spinner Lamont. This one was flighted, however, the length was almost a Yorker length on that one. Here is Lamont again to the right-handed Bennett, and Bennett is back and playing defensively, and that is the end of the over. A maiden over by the left-handed spinner Lamont. The score remains at 97 runs for the loss of 2 wickets.
And Nikita Miller to bowl to Sean Bennett, and Sean Bennett is forward. This ball comes off the outer edge of the bat, and he thought about a single, but he decided against it as a man from point, came across quickly to his left. Coming from the Michael Olin end, and this ball is flighted, and Sean Bennett played back to that one. He played it from his crease. He didn't go all the way back.
Wanted to keep Attar down at the non-striker's end. He succeeded in doing that, and now he has his man to bowl to.
Here is Miller, and back is Bennett defending this one, and the man at slip comes across very quickly, fields. It looks like Stephen Taylor, and lobs it back to Miller. Miller is in no hurry, does his job. Here he is, and this one is driven off the outer part of the bat, and Bennett still can't score.
Yes, of Bennett, there are acres of real estate to his left, which is the onside. However, Nikita Miller is bowling a probing offside line and feet. He's not. He's playing from his crease. So let's see what happens here.
Indeed, again, he's forward. This time the ball on the Midland leg stump, and he pushes it back down the pitch. Introduced. Here is Miller to bowl to Bennett, and this one is turned away into the onside, and he can't score. And that's the end of another over from Nikita Miller. At the end of it, the score still stays at 98 for the loss of 2 wickets.
Again, a very attacking field set by Nikita Miller, who bowls to Bennett, and Bennett is forward and driving along the pitch. There is no run scored as the man from mid-on comes around and does the fielding. The 3 runs set by Melbourne in their first innings, being chased down here by the Soldiers. Again, Simon Bennett in defense. He has 1 run from 21 deliveries, turns at his mark. Again, into the right-handed Bennett, who is forward and in defense, and the one of 5 men around the batsman to play and have because they are around, and he is forward in defense firmly. First back coming out of the middle, and he takes off for a run, and there's almost a run out. This ball was pushed up to the man Glenn at mid-off, who ran in, aimed at the stumps and missed, and the single was taken strike. Here's Christopher Lamont bowling from the Blue Mountain end. He is into the batsman, and the batsman is forward and playing defensively. There is no run scored. Strike. They were bowled out in the space of 30 overs by JDF. the captain, Joseph Palmer, took 5 wickets in his 12 overs with the ball. Bennett is not out 3 from 25 deliveries. This ball is up and Bennett is trying to force it through the offside. Is not successful. Here is Nikita Miller into Bennett again, and Bennett is driving this time, beating the man at mid-off and will certainly get a single. He runs off the man. Javel Glenn comes around from long on and does the fielding. A single is taken. The scores are now tied. JDF team, Trevon Griffith, he scored 29. Tariq White made 0. Stephen Taylor, 31. McCarthy, that's Andre McCarthy, 0. Holt, 1. Watson made 9. Glenn was out for 3. Miller was out for 1. Lamont went for 0. Mackenzie for 6. And Jacobs was not out, 16. Leslie, no wicket for 20 runs. Palmer, the chief destroyer, he had 5 for 23. Brown, he had no wicket for 6 runs. And
caught behind off the ball of Nikita Miller. Then Rashid Attar bowled of the very last delivery before tea. Since then, JDF, they've marched on to 109 for 3. Here is Miller to bowl to Bennett, and Bennett is back and cutting past the man at second slip. Also beating the man at point, who is Christopher Lamont, who gives chase. They go through for 1, they come back for the second. A very weak throw by Lamont, and 2 made. So the score now moves to 111 for the loss of 3 wickets. Cover, backward point, and a deep backward square. This one is cutting past Lamont, and this one will certainly hit the ropes. It's going, it's gone. 4 runs to Sean Bennett.
Very good shot there by Bennett. That ball was sat up and was outside the off stump, saying, "Hit me, please." And Bennett, duly obliged, playing that square cut perfectly along the carpet. There was no chance for Lamont, who is at point to his weaker side, though. But it's down to the Kingston Cricket Club stand for 4 runs.
Nikita Miller, this ball flighted and turned away down the leg side by Sean Bennett. Sean Bennett has looked a little bit more inclined to score since the tea break.
The ball went over the stumps and past the keeper for a bye.
Again, he's back and punching this one through the offside is Bennett. They go through for 1. They'll come back for the second. Nikita Miller is having a rough time this over. He's missed his length a couple times to Bennett, and Bennett has really cashed in on it. And 2 more to the total. The score now rushes to 117 for the loss of 3 wickets. Runs that he has under his belt, 5 of it have come from sweeps. So this one is turned into the onside by Sean Bennett and from Christopher Lamont, and they can't score. The score now moves to 120 for 3.
I'm very surprised, though, that Damian Jacobs hasn't had a bowl since just after lunch. He is really a very good bowler for Melbourne. He got the wickets last match against Kingston along with Lamont, but Captain Nikita Miller chose to use Stephen Taylor instead.
And there we saw a very sharp bit of work from the man under the bat. Looks like Andre McCarthy. That ball, Sean Bennett hit it into his front pad. It trickled to McCarthy. No, it seems like Trevon Griffiths. It trickled to Trevon Griffiths, who was under the bat. He tried desperately to try and get it back in to run Sean Bennett out back into the crease.
That's
Survive.
right. Lamont into Bennett, and Bennett is forward, confidently driving down the pitch. There is no run scored. It's a well-played half-century just on the stroke of tea. Again, short and cut away by Bennett, who loves these deliveries on the off stump, and is gone for another boundary. Bennett moves on to 18. The score goes up to 124 for the loss of 3, and the Army men now lead by 21.
It seems as though he likes the cut shot. Here is Lamont. This ball is on the front foot, Bennett, and he plays out the end of over number 51 from Christopher Lamont. At the end of it, it's 124 for the loss of 3 wickets. JDF, they are 21 runs ahead of Melbourne, who scored 103 in their first time at bat. To Miller.
And as long as Sean Bennett stays there, he is going to score, and score quickly. Again, he squeezes this one behind square and takes off for another single. You have seen some urgency in the stroke play of the JDF batsmen not taking a lot of chances. They are looking to score when the opportunity has been provided, hitting the gaps, picking the singles, running hard, and you can see they are very...
2 wickets for 27 runs. And his partner at the other end is a man they call Little Killer, Christopher Lamont. He has bowled 14 overs so far, 4 maidens, 29 runs. But he has gone wicketless.
Right. Bennett now to take strike from Miller. He is on 18 from 41 deliveries. He is up to Miller and he's back and punching this one past the bowler, and they get a easy single.
Again, Sean, you didn't see that before, T. Now, Bennett looks to be a little bit more enterprising.
Last week to this Melbourne team, the home support would not be out. A very loud appeal here from Christopher Lamont. Ball taken on the pad of Harrison. He was forward to a delivery that pitched on and about off stump. Hit on the pad. A loud appeal went up, but Mr. Taylor was not interested. What are your views there?
More hopeful than anything else. That ball, it hit him outside the off stump. It was, you really and truly wouldn't be able to give him out there as the umpire if you're worth your time as an umpire.
I can't force this ball through the offside, but here is Bennett again moving away to his left, creating room to square cut this delivery.
Dangerous stroke. And this ball again is back and cutting this time. He makes good contact, and that man comes off the cover boundary, Tariq White, and lobs a throw back to looks like Andre McCarthy, who was feeling at short cover. He's now at short mid wicket to the left-hander. And I think maybe Rolando McKenzie will be able to get some of those balls coming back at the batsman and maybe hit a couple pads, stumps, and get you back in the game.
Played defensively by Bennett. Again, Miller is in and Bennett is back and forcing this one through the offside. Attempting to run, but there was really no single on. Remains on 130 for the loss of 3 wickets. Miller into Bennett, and Bennett is back pushing defensively. Fielded by the man at Silimidon. And attempts to bowl to Miller. To Bennett, who drives neatly along the ground up to mid-on. The throw comes in and hits the stumps. There was no single on offer. Waits to begin his run. Here he is into Bennett, who is forward and defending again.
Very nervous as he did earlier. And even in his forward defensive strokes, he looks very assured. He looks now as though he's now looking to score and he's on top. The confidence is there for him.
Off the good ones. Jacobs now bowling to Bennett, and Bennett is forward and playing bat and pad close together. The ball squeezes out on the onside. No run taken. Now afterwards has been fighting on. Here is Jacobs, and the ball is flighted, and Bennett is in the one. This one is hitting the air. Will he be caught? No, he won't be caught. This one goes over the boundary for 6 runs. A very good straight hit by Bennett. The ball was on the line of the off stump. Jacobs thought he was in with a chance. Bennett was equal to the task, and he hit this one cleanly over long off. It went straight over the bowler's head for 6. He moves on to 27. The score goes up to 137 for the loss of 3 wickets.
The player, here's Jacobs, top of his mark, comes in, flighty delivery. Bennett is back and pushing this one into the offside. The score remains at 139 for 4. Joined him 3 minutes ago. He's on 2 and he's faced 2 deliveries. Flighty delivery from Jacobs, and Bennett is forward. He had to go on top of that one to try and keep it down. The man in front of him under the bat was lurking.
He really didn't have any problems with the line. More so, the length was giving him trouble. Again, another delivery on the line of the leg stump. Turned behind square where Javel Glenn does the fielding. 3 all out this morning. Again, a good delivery by the leg spinner Damian Jacobs, formerly of Norman Manley High School, bowling now for Melbourne Cricket Club, the franchise tournament. Here is Jacobs. This is a line of leg stumper. Stifled the peel. This delivery was definitely going down leg. The umpire is not interested. The umpires, again, for today's game, Christopher Taylor and Edson Mitchell, Sean Johnson, that's myself, and co-commentator Kerry Scott. our sub sponsors today, Juice TV. Captain Nikita Miller is bowling from the George Edley end, and he is bowling to Bennett to his back and hitting this one in the vacant mid-wicket area where the fielder comes around. There is only one run taken. Still keeping this aggressive field, hopefully to get him out. Here again, Miller is on the line of the middle stump, and Bennett is driving comfortably down the wicket. There is no run. When we look over to the Kingston Cricket Club stand, we see where most of the patrons are. A lot of people here today watching this competitive match between the Jamaica Defence Force and the Melbourne Cricket Club.
What Melbourne has now is that with each passing over, it seems as though the lead just continues to grow. It's now almost 40-run lead, and it's only four wickets down.
Sean Bennett is on strike, and here is Miller into Bennett, and this ball is on the line of the off stump. Bennett is back and playing defensively. The ball runs out to the point region where there is no run. 142 for 5, a lead of 39 runs. The game in the balance right now. Bennett being the difference between the two teams, the advantage after tea.
Well, I'm not sure about advantage because they're already behind the 8th ball with them being in the deficit by about some 30 odd runs. So I think that what they need to concentrate on now, is to try and prize a couple more wickets. Here is Miller. This ball outside the off stump, spinning away from Sean Bennett, and
by Miller, and the loss of the wicket of Leslie has forced the JDF team to, consolidate somewhat. They get a run here, though. Let's see what will be signaled by the umpire. By a signal, that ball that went behind Bennett was bowled down the leg side by Miller. Not some very good keeping there by the wicketkeeper from Melbourne. That's right, Kerry. Here is Jacobs to bowl to Bennett, and Jacobs is in and bowls, and Bennett is back and playing this one behind square. There is no run. Bennett looking very confident now in his stroke play. Out Bennett. He has batted positively after the tea break here again, getting some runs. Let's see if he got some bat on that delivery. Went away for 4, and yes, he did get some bat. A wayward delivery there by Jacobs. Went down the leg side. Bennett went for the sweep. He got some bat on it. The ball ran away down to fine leg for 4 runs. 47 for 5. Here is Jacobs again to bowl to Bennett, and Bennett was thinking of hitting this one. He pulled out of the stroke at the last minute.
Jacobs, I'm sure, would be interested in that. Here is Jacobs. Again, this ball fired in onto the off stump, and Bennett squeezes it to the man at point, and there's no run. Hurry himself here. Here he is to bowl to Bennett, and Bennett is back and pulling this one through the vacant mid-wicket region. It goes now into the fence of 4, and that, I'm sure, will lively up the crowd here. Now, we have not seen any boundary for some time since the start of this over, and we've seen 2 in this over. A sweep shot from Bennett, and then a real good pull shot from him. That brings JDF's 150 into sharp focus. The 150 has come off 368 balls, and it has taken them 184 minutes to get there.
That's right. Here's Jacobs again to bowl to Bennett, and this delivery is flat. Bennett is back and playing defensively. That ball goes to point. There is no run taken, and that's the call of the over. The score is 151 for 5. That middle and leg stump line to Cottrell.
Here is Bennett back and playing this one to the man to sell him it off. Melbourne CC and JDF. Here is Miller. This ball is fired into the mid and leg stump. And that's the end of another over from Nikita Miller. At the end of it, the score is 152 for the loss of 5 wickets. And I think the umpires are signaling for drinks. 36, Sheldon Cottrell just joined him. He's been there 12 minutes. 9 deliveries he has faced for his 2. Here is Jacobs. Flighted delivery. Bennett is forward, opening the face, running into the offside, and he can't score.
Tried to play his own game, to score quickly. And with that came the confidence to now be playing all these plethora of strokes that we see coming from the young soldier.
And I think the confidence really get at the bowling, which we didn't see him doing. Here is Jacobs to bowl to Bennett, who's turning this one into the onside. They go through for one. They think about the second, and they won't get it. Joining Bennett now is Rohan Chang.
Well, we wait and see. Here is Miller to bowl to Bennett, who is forward in defense. A very quick decision to go on the front foot. Bennett has his initial movement was, it seemed to, be on the back.
It seems his initial movement is always to play back. Here he is driving this one, but he can't pass the man at short cover, who is young Mackenzie, who has done extremely well today, Sean, outside of the no ball that he bowled to get no ball that he bowled to Palmer, that bowled him. He has been very, very good in the outfield. This ball is swept away by Sean Bennett, and they go through for one. They come back for the second. The throat comes in, Stephen Taylor from slip, and the score now moves to 159 for the loss of 6 wickets. Yeah, but O'Shane is in your franchise system. So this ball is driven down to the man at long off by Sean Bennett, who's looked very accomplished here today. That takes the score to 40, and the score to 160 for the loss of 6 with him, Rohan Chang.
It is Sean Bennett, the right-handed batsman, on 41. And with him is Rohan Chang, the JDF wicketkeeper, on 3. This delivery is squeezed out of the offside, and a single is quickly taken by Bennett and Chang, who have really, tried to push along the scoring. Is Bennett. He, however, alone won't be able to do it. He moves on to 42 from 82 deliveries.
Here is Nikita Miller to bowl to Sean Bennett. And Bennett is back and edging past the man at slip. This will hit the fence just about now. It does hit the ropes. And that's 4 more to the JDF cause. It's 171 for the loss of 6. And with that, Sean Bennett, he moves his score now up to 46. And he has been there for some 88 minutes, Sean Johnson. And he has really shown that he has the mettle to try and force his team into a commanding lead. JDF, they bowl 30. Here is Jacobs, flighty delivery, and this one is hit in the air by Bennett, and the man at long on comes off the fence and fields. That ball was fired into Midland leg stump. Ben Nikita Miller delaying before he came in, and I think that in itself was dangerous. This ball is pulled away by Sean Bennett to deep mid-wicket. Tariq White comes across from deep backward square. He can't prevent him from coming back for the second, and Sean Bennett moves to 49. Long.
That's right. He has really been all over the shop in this match. Very dependable bowler by senior cup standards for Melbourne. And Sean now has gotten his 50. Very well played 50 by Bennett. It came off 86 balls in 101 minutes. And I mean, this gentleman has really grown from strength to strength based on what and how his innings started. He has grown in confidence. He was given a couple of deliveries to get some confidence, and he certainly took that opportunity with both hands and now has made Melbourne pay for those wayward deliveries that they've served up to Mr. Bennett. Bennett is on 50. He's to take strike, and this delivery is played defensively into the offside by Bennett. Jada's on the offside and also on the leg side. Bennett is back to delivery, is beaten by that ball. A very good delivery there by Jacobs. A deep point, a deep long off, a deep long on, and a deep backward square. Jacobs is up to the wicket and he bowls his ball is flighting and is left alone outside the off stump. Very good batting here by the man Sean Bennett. 50 runs. Here is Bennett up, and Jacobs flights this ball. He tried to drive that on the offside. It peeled off the inside edge, and he successfully got a single. Adjustment made to the square leg fielder. Jacobs again up to Bennett, and is short, and Bennett is back and punches this one through the covers. He's going to get some runs here. He goes for one, turns for the second. The fielder, Stephen Taylor, throws in the delivery. Now 2 runs have been taken. 181 is the score at the end of that over. 6 wickets have fallen. The Army men are leading by 78 runs.
Is Lamont. He will now do badly against Sean Bennett. Sean Bennett is looking to whip this one into the onside. A very awkward bit of work there by Rolando McKenzie.
Based on what I have seen thus far, Lamont trusting him to not let Bennett come off strike. Again, another good over by Lamont.
The lead is actually 79. It's 182 for 6. And I'd like to say a good afternoon to one Gregory Buchanan. How are you, sir? Husband Chin. These guys are always listening in and watching. Brian Latour, Richard Johnson, Richard Gordon, Robert Brown. How are you, sir? I hope that you all are very well. Listening and watching from wherever you are in Jamaica. Ramon Hutchinson, I hope you have a good afternoon, sir. He's an ex-Melbourne player, or should I say a former Melbourne player. Bowled a bit of off-spin in his days. Was one of our top wicket takers back in the days.
The boundary, a deep mid-wicket, and also a deep square leg. And it's Mr. Taylor to take up the action from this end. The first delivery is short and pulled by Sean Bennett, who moves on to 55.
42 minutes now. Here's Nikita Miller to bowl to Sean Bennett. And Bennett is edging this one, but he played it with soft hands as it went to the man at slips. Here he is, left arm, round the wicket to Bennett, and Bennett is driving. Can't pass Miller, who skips across to his left. A stronger hand and fields. 55 for the loss of 6 wickets here at SABINA Park. And Bennett is back and cutting this one into the offside. They go through for one. They think about the second. They'll come back for it. Sadiki Bolt sends a strong throw back to Nikita Miller's end, but he can't prevent the run from scoring to 57. Here is Nikita Miller to bowl to Sean Bennett, and Bennett is back and pushing this one into the offside. There was a chance for a single there. It seems as though Chang really wasn't alert. Joseph Palmer, he picked up 5 wickets. Here is Miller, and forward in defense is Sean Bennett. He's on 57. Been there now some 121 minutes. Here is Miller. I'm sure would love to get the wicket of Bennett here. Bennett is back and punching this one into the stomach of the man at Silimidov. And that's the end of another over number 76. At the end of it, JDF, they're large and in charge here at SABINA Park in this 2017 Senior Cup Finals. And they're 187, loss of 6 wickets. Or a good evening to the man they call Wayne Cuff, all the way in New York City. A man who played many years for the Jamaica Defense Force and also for the Jamaica senior team. Wayne Cuff was a prolific batsman, left-hander, did extremely well. Here is this ball played down to the man at slip.
Christopher Lamont taking out the bowling from the C end, and Bennett is playing defensively to this delivery. The Melbourne fielders are seemingly tired. They are really going through the motions at this point, kind of waiting. Again, we say, a very good day's play here. Big up to our sponsors, Blue Water, Showtime Medical, Ready TV, Power Aid, Pure National Ice, Just Scorpions, KLS Sports, ESPN Radio, who are our neighbors, we should say, Hotel Four Seasons, and one can't forget the stream being brought to you by Juice TV. Again, we're at the Jamaica Cricket Association Senior Cup Finals for 2017. This is being played at SABINA Park, Kingston, Jamaica, between the Jamaica Defense Force, those are the Army men, and the Melbourne Cricket Club, the guys from Courtney Walsh Drive. They should have at least given Mackenzie another bowl. Now Taylor has opted to be bowling around the wicket to the right-handers. Field set 4 men on the boundary on the leg side. Let's see what is going to happen. And very good delivery there, bowled by Taylor through the gate of Bennett, bat and pad. Here is Taylor again to Bennett, and Bennett is driving this time through the offside, but no run scored. The ball went straight to that man at that cover point region, who is Tariq White. University of the West Indies scored a very good 100 last week. Kerry, again, let's see what Taylor is trying to do. Taylor is into Bennett, and Bennett is defensively playing this one into the mid-wicket region. There is no run at their position today and strengthened tomorrow.
This is a full toss, driven straight to the man at short cover, who's Andre McCarthy, without scoring. Here is Stephen Taylor, and this one is back and cutting, and it goes through the man Tariq White, who went across. It seemed as though he was going to take the catch, and he couldn't hold on, and that now squeezes the score to 194 for the loss of 6 wickets. Jamaica Defence Force, they now lead by some 91 runs. Now looking to try and prize Sean Bennett out. Here he is. And this ball is fired into the middle leg stump, and Sean Bennett turns it behind square. The wicketkeeper goes after it. Did he get any bat on it? It seems he did. Yes, he did. And that now inches his score up to 61. Again, he's been there some 134 minutes. He's faced 113 delivers for his 61.
From the Blue Mountain end. He runs into Bennett and delivers a delivery that's hitting this man on the leg, but an appeal went up. Apparently, that ball was played off the bat.
It seemed more as though it was missing the leg stump. It really... Mackenzie gets the ball to dart in to the right-hander. That was Joseph Palmer, but of course that was a no ball. Here he is again to bowl to Bennett, and again the ball is veering into that midland leg stump. And Bennett does well to come down on it and get some bat on it and squeezes it to a mid-on where Damon Jacobs comes across fields and sends a throw in. And now, Sean, it'll be very interesting. Maybe a man in the mid-wicket region would be good. But this one is, again, veered into mid and leg stump with a little bit of pace. This youngster, Mackenzie, he doesn't really hit the deck very hard as the JDF fast bowlers. He's a bit skiddy for the LBW. Here he is to bowl to Bennett. Bennett has been there for some time. And this ball is veered into the mid and leg stump, and Bennett plays with a very straight bat. And Damien Jacobs walks from the mid-on region to field, and there is no run. The score now moves to 198 for 6. Psychologically safe.
That's right. Here is this ball outside the off stump, but Bennett was into the drive and beaten for pace. Kerry, I want to comment on that point he made in reference to the slips.
He's just thinking about survival. Here he is, forward again, and this ball runs to the man at slip, and they can't score.
See where JDF has really consolidated and just look to survive, get those singles, and bring the score up to what it is now. It is now at 201 for the loss of 6 wickets.